Think about it, if you were a robber, wouldn't a bank be the fastest way to get rich? But this crew had a different idea. They set their sights on the pensions of ordinary people. A group of heavily armed robbers stormed a pension trustee firm at 10 a.m. With overwhelming firepower, they ordered everyone to raise their hands, place their phones on their palms, and head to the conference room. But there's always someone who wants to play the hero.
That's a Sig Sauer. NPX case. You fire that off in here, and everyone will hear it from 5th floor to the 10th. You're not stupid enough to shoot that in here. I doubt you even bothered loading it.
We don't have to fire our guns to kill you with them.
The man's defiance gave the robbers the perfect chance to make an example out of him and assert total control. After that, no one dared to step out of line. Everyone was herded into the conference room, huddled in the corner like cattle. The leader first ordered the transaction processing group to stand up, but as two women started to rise, the younger one was pushed back down by her colleague. Why sit down? It's her first day. She's an intern. Eventually, 4 employees stood up. The leader then asked, who among them was the most senior? A man named Luke raised his hand, so he and Zara were pulled aside. Back at their workstations, the leader produced a USB drive. Contained every detail of 6 pre-planned transactions. It detailed the source and target accounts along with the specific amounts and scale. He ordered Luke to upload this data into the trade management system, but when Luke plugged in the USB drive, he was absolutely shell-shocked. The total value of the transaction was a staggering £4. This sum accounts for nearly all the liquidity on the company's books. But these funds don't belong to the firm. They are the pensions of countless ordinary people, including frontline workers like social workers, police officers and doctors. £4 sterling billion might be hard to fathom. Just consider money heist, where a crew seized the mint and took 13 days just to print €4 billion. Faced with such a colossal sum, Luke's instinct was to refuse. A cold pistol was instantly pressed against his temple. Meanwhile, 3 visitors arrived unexpectedly at the reception desk, looking confused by the unfamiliar face standing there. The female robber, posing as the receptionist, quickly explained that she was a temp sent by an agency. Suspecting nothing, the visitors headed straight inside. Paralyzed by fear, a trembling Luke completed the trade application. The next step required authorization and signatures from senior management. The robbers seemed to know the internal protocols inside out. They handpicked 3 authorized executives straight from the boardroom and forced them to sign off. Once signed, another member of the transaction processing group had to verify the details. This task fell to Zara, having seen what happened to Luke. She didn't dare hesitate for a second and quickly finalized her part. The trade instructions were swiftly dispatched to the custodian bank. Since the company's own accounts hold no actual capital, all funds are dispersed directly by the custodian bank. The bank is bound to call for verification. At that critical juncture, an elderly man arrived with a trolley. He was there to deliver mail and parcels. He seemed chatty, striking up a conversation with the robber, posing as the receptionist. As they spoke, he inadvertently noticed that the office was deserted. The female robber's expression immediately hardened. Her hand reached stealthily for her weapon. Fortunately, the old man didn't press further, and soon entered the elevator. Shortly after, the verification call from the custodian bank came through as expected. The leader orders Luke to answer and warns him. Confirm the transaction's authenticity. No tricks, no coded distress signals. Demand the immediate transfer. But as the call was about to connect, Luke's nerves failed him completely. He was paralyzed, unable to utter a word. Zara, standing by, was forced to step up and take the call.
Hello. Sorry, Zara. Yeah, alright. Warren, Luke has just nipped to the loo. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm just really hungover. I went out with them, Luke and T, to the Gladstone last night. The person on the other end clearly sensed
the anomaly in her tone, but Zara quickly pivoted and improvised an excuse. The bank questioned the massive transfer to an unrecognized account. They had no prior history with this account. Zara explained it was an emerging hedge fund project the company was investing in. The bank pressed her on why the amount reached $4 billion. Zara calmly replied that they had a long-standing relationship with these funds and that they were highly reliable, recommended by a senior manager. This explanation finally laid the bank's suspicions to rest. With the signatures of the entire senior management and a process that is fully compliant, the bank states the transfer will be processed promptly. It typically takes 15 to 30 minutes for the funds to clear. The robbers must wait for the transfer confirmation before leaving. Otherwise, all their efforts will be for naught. During this tense wait in the conference room, one man decides to take a desperate risk. He quietly parts the curtains and spots someone in the building opposite, then desperately makes a signal for help. But he is quickly spotted. A robber rushes over, beats him brutally and drags him out, leaving his fate unknown. Dragging him into the restroom, the robber puts a gun to his head, demanding to know if anyone saw him while issuing a death threat. If the police show up and trigger a standoff, he will be the first to be executed. Despite his extreme terror, the man still denies that anyone saw him. The robbers remain skeptical, meaning they might need to evacuate immediately. But if they leave now, the bank could retract the transfer at any moment, rendering all their efforts useless. As the leader weighs his options, the scout he sent makes a discovery. Several people in the building opposite are indeed watching intently, and even appear to be making a call. 4 minutes have passed since the man signaled. He must evacuate now. Just as the leader is paralyzed by the dilemma, a subordinate rushes in, shouting that the funds have cleared. With this breakthrough, the robbers spring into action immediately. They lock down the room, collect their gear, and begin an orderly retreat. By the time the police arrive, they have already vanished without a trace. Meanwhile, Officer Kovac, fresh out of the casino, received word to mobilize. The heist quickly hit the headlines. A staggering £4 billion had been stolen. It is the largest armed robbery in British history, crime that will strip thousands of people of their hard-earned pensions. Given their level of tactical precision, they must have military backgrounds, and are very likely state-level operatives. Back at the office, police treated the injured and began questioning employees one by one. Having personally authorized the transfers, Zara became the primary focus of the interrogation. Officer Kovac first calmed her down, reassuring her she did the right thing, since non-compliance could have resulted in a bloodbath. Zara shared what details she could with the officer, but little of it seemed to be of any value. Just then Zara's nose began to bleed. She explained that a heavy night of drinking always led to nosebleeds the next day. Zinging she had no further leads to offer. Kovac suggested she go to the restroom to clean up. In the restroom, however, Zara overheard a conversation from outside.
There's no way they could pull off that job without help. They knew everything about the operation, our protocols, how our trade management system works, and even the setup of the custodian bank. All of it. Someone must have tipped them off.
So, you think it's one of us?
Makes sense, right? How else could they have done it?
Well, if one of us was involved, doesn't thinkable that one of us could put the whole office through that.
Yeah, but before building the case, but at 8 or 9 degrees. It's half a degree each when you do it like this.
Shouldn't be hard to figure out who the inside men were. Yeah, whoever shows up tomorrow in a Ferrari or doesn't show up at all. Hearing this across Zara's face, a faint eerie smile slowly began to emerge.